Now I want to give you an experience of experiential healing. And I want you to notice that this is not going to be an intellectual exercise. I'm not going to be feeding you new information. This is going to be something that your nervous system, your physiology gets to experience. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to do a little visualization exercise here because, fun fact, your nervous system doesn't know the difference between real and imagined. So it will literally have a new felt experience just by me guiding you through a visualization exercise, okay? And I want you to notice this pattern. First, we're going to move into this settling, kind of calm experience. Then we're going to move into something that's mildly activating. I mean, it's going to be very minimal on a scale of activation. And then we're going to move back into settling and calm. And that is the normal pattern of your nervous system, how it's supposed to deal with stimuli and stressors. But to just kind of piggyback what I've been saying this whole time, a lot of times we get stuck in activation. We don't know how to bring our system back into calm, like our system doesn't know the threat is over. But in this case, we're going to gently guide it into the calm, the activation, the calm, okay? So nothing scary is going to happen. You can't do this wrong. Whatever comes up for you is totally fine. And I really just want you to kind of track your body. Notice your body as much as you can, okay, as I'm guiding you through this, and I'll give you little pointers along the way, all right? So I'm going to have you just start by, if it feels okay to you, closing your eyes. I'm going to close mine. I'll probably have them closed the whole time because it helps me to connect with the image, the visualization exercise, but also with my body, okay? So just allow yourself to kind of settle into your chair. And I want you to just notice your body. Just kind of scan it right now and see if anything is here, if there's any sort of activation or like stress or tension, maybe some energy. And now just find what feels good or supportive to your body and allow yourself to just kind of sink into that. So that's probably your chair, like what's behind you or beneath you. Could be your breath, could be, I have a blanket on my legs, so for me it's also that. But just notice what feels good to your body right now and really allow it to just kind of settle in to what feels supportive. And then I want you to imagine that you are walking through a park that is like a wooded park. It is stunningly beautiful. Maybe you see a little lake to your left and lots of trees to your right, and there's really no one there but you. And so you're just walking, kind of taking in the scene. Notice what the temperature would be. What's the perfect temperature for you? What does it feel like for your feet to be walking on this trail? What would you see with your eyes? Like take in where the light is. Notice what, if there's any like animals that you see, trees, flowers, what all would you see? Just kind of notice what that looks like and feels like as far as what your body notices or feels. And let your body just kind of be there in that space. And then go ahead and just drop into your body if you haven't already, and notice if there's any signs of kind of settling for your body. Maybe your breath softens, or your shoulders drop, or your jaw unclenches, or your heart rate settles or kind of slows down. And now imagine that you, as you're walking on this trail, somewhere in the distance you hear a sudden sound. Not dangerous, just unexpected. Maybe it's like a big branch snapping, something falling. And I want you to just notice your body's response. Like, does it brace? Do you see, like, would you be orienting? Would you be trying to find? What was that? Is there any sort of like rise in heart rate or energy? Maybe you notice if your body turns any particular way or wants to. Notice if there's any alertness or attention or a small jolt or any activation. And just notice that there actually is no danger. Like you're still in the calm place, you're still safe, but your nervous system just is a little bit activated. And now I want you to imagine that you look towards the sound and realize that there is no threat. Maybe it was just a raccoon or a squirrel or something small and harmless. And just kind of feel your body settling into that, like getting to recognize and orient to the threat and realizing that it's harmless. And notice how that shifts your body back towards calm. And just kind of notice how you know you feel calm, what in your body feels settled. Does your heart rate drop? Does your breathing slow down? Do you feel like you can kind of sink into your chair a little bit more as you just take in that scene a little longer with the beautiful woods? And then I just want you to come on back to the present, and you can orient to your space, like, which means just kind of looking around the room, taking in whatever's here, what your eyes are kind of drawn to in the room. And notice how I didn't feed you any information there. I didn't educate you on anything. You got to experience something. You didn't analyze anything. You didn't talk about your past. You didn't think your way into calm. Your nervous system got to just experience shifts. And even if you weren't able to go from calm to activation to calm, you still got to experience something, right? Like you were not listening to me talk about a subject. You were experiencing something in your body, experiencing a shift. That's experiential healing, okay? And I want to point out that what you just experienced is how the nervous system naturally processes activation. It's settled, it's calm. Then there's some sort of stressor, so it activates. And then once it realizes the threat is over, it returns back to calm, okay? Trauma happens when the system gets stuck in activation and can't come back to calm, can't come back to a baseline of calm, settle, peace, homeostasis. And healing happens when the body experiences the activation and is able to return to safety, okay? So that is just one example of experiential healing, but I want you to notice how that's different than you just talking about something like you do in talk therapy, just talking about what activated you that week or what you're struggling with or any of those things. It's also not the same thing as reading a book and taking new information or writing down things that you need to do differently next week, right? It's none of that. It is a new experience for the body, a new felt experience for the nervous system. And that is what changes the nervous system and the subcortical brain, because the nervous system feeds the subcortical brain. The subcortical brain feeds your cortex or the conscious brain, okay? And so remember, this is the missing link. This is experiential healing. And so now let's talk about what that looks like for you, what that can look like for you, okay?